all right now. I got this. You wanted to know who I am?
What the hell are you talking about?
You'll see!
Wait, there's not one scratch on him. Is this supposed to be funny? Is this what the Hulk is now? Comic relief? I mean, it's crazy that people actually think these are good movies now. It's crazy. I can understand little kids enjoying these movies. I mean, they're easy enough to follow. There's bright colors, explosions, the humor is childish. And all these movies are completely generic in every sense of the word. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I watched some real stupid stuff too. So, I can completely relate to that. But I don't understand how anyone over 10 can find these movies entertaining. What kind of an adult enjoys these movies? Because you have to be extremely slow to find these movies entertaining. I mean, it's an insult for me to even call these movies. I mean, I should just call them what they are. Trash. That's right, they're trash. And it just blows my mind that Disney released 22 of these movies in 10 years. I just can't believe that people actually go to a theater to watch this stuff. These are terrible, terrible movies, and you're a terrible person. I'm just going to say it right now in the beginning of the video, that if you like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't like you. Okay, I do not like you and I do not trust you. Okay, you're a terrible person. And people like you are making movies bad. People like you are destroying the cinema experience. Now, I could list 100 reasons why these movies are terrible, but I only need 5. So here are the biggest issues. The tone, the music, the visuals, nothing is serious. And the 5th one, you'll have to wait to the end. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you how you can make movies great again. Oh, and for you Disney degenerates, I'm going to explain these 5 issues so easy and simple that even you can understand. So, let's start off with the biggest issue, the tone.
We're still friends, right?
Depends on how hard you hit me.
Why is it that every single one of these movies is filled with quips? I mean, there's a joke in nearly every single scene in these movies. These movies are geared to Disney's core audience. And that's kids. Kids and ADHD adults who don't know what a good movie is. There will never be a serious take on any of these characters, and you know I'm right. You know I'm right. The Disney brand is entirely shaped around the public image of family-friendly fare. And when I criticize these movies, people always want to bring up 2 movies that they say is different. They say, hey, Winter Soldier and Infinity War don't have those problems that you list. And that's just not true. They say Winter Soldier was a serious political thriller. Stop. No, it wasn't. It had the generic plot of a secret organization within the government that's trying to take over the world. And it had the generic hero fight his best friend who is brainwashed, and they later become friends in the end or the sequel. There's nothing serious about that movie. And that movie was actually so bad and so generic and uninteresting that I fell asleep within 20 minutes. So don't try to say that that movie was a serious political thriller just because you read some stupid review. And I know that if you're a fan of that movie, you read a stupid review that tries to say that, hey, it's a serious political thriller. It's nothing like that. Stop listening to people that are lying. Stop listening to people who are trying to spread a false narrative. Okay, people take these dumb movies and they try to make it sound like there's some type of artistic piece, and that couldn't be further from the truth. And let's look at Infinity War, for example. People say, oh, it was so different from the other ones. They said it was a lot more mature. And that's just not true. That movie was about 134 minutes. And guess how many jokes was in that movie? 132 jokes. That's insane. I mean, are the people who watch these movies that dumb? I mean, if a movie has one joke per minute, that is not a serious movie. That is not a mature movie. That's a movie for kids and people with terrible taste in movies. And people like to say the opening was so dark and different from other MCU movies. The movie opened up with a purple villain who had just killed a bunch of people.
I know what it's like to lose.
And where have I seen that before?
For you, Lord Frieza.
What's this? The evil tyrant Frieza and his ruthless henchmen have already gathered 4 of the 7 Namekian Dragon Balls, and it's...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Nearly every single first appearance of a Dragon Ball Z villain. That's not the only similarity it has to Dragon Ball. Take a look at the armor of Iron Man and Iron Man Jr. They press a button and this liquid armor comes out and conforms to their body. Now, first of all, that's just completely unbelievable. And it's fake. And it's sad that in Dragon Ball, these people, these Saiyans, their armor is far more realistic. I mean, take a look at this. I mean, that's real armor. I mean, they get beaten up, the armor's gonna break. Dragon Ball is far more realistic, far more mature. It has better characters, and there's a much better connection to the characters in those cartoons than you have in the movies. A cartoon with flying aliens. A cartoon with flying aliens and food and stuff like that is far more believable than all of these MCU movies. That says a lot about their audience, and that says a lot about the movies. But I'm gonna get off of this subject of tone because I've already made my point, and you know I'm right. Just know that you will never have a serious character or a serious moment or a serious portrayal of any of these characters now or in the future, as long as Disney has it, and they're not gonna let go of those properties. So you can expect these franchises and these characters to get more comical as they go on, and that's a fact. So now let's talk about the score. I mean, you will never see or hear anyone talk about the score in Marvel movies. I mean, you'll hear people talk about, you know, the score in DC movies, like Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel. But you're never going to hear someone talk about the score in a Marvel movie. You see, the score is supposed to contribute to the scene and really add something to it. You know, make you feel an emotion, make you feel invested. But that's not ever going to happen in a Marvel movie. So I'm going to show you 3 clips, 3 examples. So just notice the visual and musical difference.
So, this all seems horrible.
I've seen worse.
Sorry.
No, we could use a little worse.
Stark, we got him.
Banner?
Just like you said.
Then tell him to suit up. I'm bringing the party to you.
I don't see how that's a party.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Hold on!
Northcom, this is Guardian. Are we cleared to make the drop?
Negative, Guardian.
Look at that. I mean, look at Mad Max, and look at Man of Steel. I mean, this is something that the Marvel movies could never even get close to. I mean, do you even remember that Avengers theme now? Do you even remember what happened? I don't. So there's just no denying that the MCU is lacking in that department, as well as many other departments. So now let's take a look at the visuals. As you've seen on screen, there's been a lot of clips from various MCU movies. You should have noticed how lighthearted and fake Disney portrays their characters and action set pieces. I mean, it's very obvious that the MCU movies are nothing more but a gray mess. Everything looks flat. Everything looks weightless. The falling building, the giant armored slug, there's no weight to it. There's nothing that says it's real. And even with the bright blue costume of Captain America, it still looks bland. It looks cheap. And here's more examples of the blandness that the MCU fans love. Just take a look at the color palette. Now compare these scenes to something like a Zack Snyder film. A Zack Snyder films his action in a wide, grand scale. It gives you a true cinematic experience. You'll notice the wide shots and obvious darker color palettes. And that really brings out the action. And the darker colors also help hide the fact that most superhero costumes, they generally can't look like they do in the comic book. See, the MCU will never be able to match that. The MCU can't even touch it. I mean, they're just so far below. It's unbelievable that people actually watch the MCU movies. Oh, and the people who want to hate on Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, well, the only reason why you guys don't like those things is because, number one, you're not smart. Number two, you can't comprehend a complex plot. And number three, you probably have never read a graphic novel in your entire life. You see, when stupid people believe that they're right, when they think that movies like these are good, and they actually go down to the theater and they actually go to the theater and pay to see these movies, well, the studios, they want to pander to them. They want to pander to them. So instead of us getting the Zack Snyder trilogy or his 5-movie arc, and instead of us getting a Blade Runner trilogy or a sequel to Alien Covenant, we get these dumb, childish Marvel movies. You see, these fake critics, they tear these real movies apart, and it's because they're paid off by Disney, or they're just not smart enough to understand a real movie. Could be both. I mean, you already know that Disney degenerates only understand weak stories that are easy enough for a 10-year-old to understand.
Now, most people would thank everyone for watching, but I'm not going to do that. You see, I'm only going to thank the people who agree with me. If you don't agree with me, I'm not going to thank you. So the people who agree with me, thank you very much for watching my video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. For the people who don't agree with me, well, your opinion is wrong. You don't know what a good movie is. You don't know what a movie is. You don't understand movies. Okay, you don't understand art. You're not smart enough to know what a good movie is. I mean, if you're watching these MCU movies and you enjoy them, if you're a guy, you probably have low testosterone. I'm just going to come out and say it. You have low testosterone. If you're a girl, well, you're probably not smart either. But that's not the point. We got a real problem going on. The people who like these MCU and Last Jedi movies, these people are just terrible people.